So I was able to get the belts for the Sharp. I went ahead and I ordered a complete kit, which consisted of 5 belts. There, 2 of them are the main drive belts, and then I think the other 2 are used for fast forward and reverse. And the last one is used for the belt counter. I didn't bother to measure each individual belt and then order one at a time, because in the end the price comes out the same. And I kind of like, just out of curiosity, I wanted to see what size belts I was dealing with. So I printed out some circles, and you can see I came out for the main drive belt. I came out with 70 millimeters. I always work with metric measurements because I think it's easier. And this belt came out kind of ballparkish, but I'm pretty close. It's 70 millimeter times 4 millimeters wide. And these belts over here, see, one is a 56 millimeter and the other one's a 67 millimeter. And I would say they're right around a millimeter, 1 millimeter. They might be 1.1 millimeter. I'm not sure. I don't have a micrometer. But that's kind of, so I don't think it would make a difference. It would be like 1 millimeter or 1.1 millimeter. Also, I don't think if it makes a difference if the belt is, maybe, say you got to use the 55 millimeter instead of a 56 or something like that. I don't think that's that critical, because these belts, getting the correct sizes nowadays, that can be a challenge, and they might not have what you need. Now comes the fun part. I think to get the old belts off, I have to take off 5 screws, as far as I can tell. I'm not sure what else I might have to do. There's a screw right there on the right. There's a screw there. And there's a screw there. There's a screw over to the left. And then there's one down here by the motor. So I'm going to start taking them apart, and of course I got my screwdriver here, which is always an exact fit, because these screws can be stripped really easily, and I'm saying that because of personal experience. So I got those 5 screws out, and we're still stuck in a couple little places. So I think I'm going to start by removing this little board right there and give me more space to work with, and then see what else is binding up. I'm slowly getting more space here. Now I've decided to remove this little, there's a little screw right there, and then go from there. Now with that screw removed, I was able to move everything out of the way, and now all I have to do is pull the belts off and install the new ones. And as a comparison, I put the new belt inside the old belt, and you can see how much the old belt has actually stretched throughout the years. I also removed the old grease that was on this flywheel shaft, and I'm going to put a dab of fresh grease on it, since it is a little bit hardened up. And the same thing down here where my finger is. So I ended up putting this belt here next to the plunger on first, because that was the most difficult to do. What I did is I held the belt to the flywheel with my fingers, and then I pulled it forward, and then I let this assembly down in place. Once that was in place, I used this tool right here to pull the belt over the flywheel bearing. So I'm going to try to demonstrate on the other side. Of course, meanwhile, when I put on the left belt, the right belt fell off the flywheel. You can see I've got my fingers here holding it on, and then I'm going to use my tool here to hook the belt with, and then at least according to theory, I should be able to hook it there. It actually went. So that's basically how I did that. Of course, I might add, I forgot to put the top belt on, so now I gotta take everything apart. I'm gonna try to put the belt on without the other belts coming off. I think I'm gonna start at this end here and then use my tool and then hook it around this idler wheel. Okay, looks like nothing came off, and I guess I got lucky.